Alright, so finish with range, finish with melee. Let's start fantasy. I believe I will also include some of these applicable ones, like the punching one, in combat as well, but this is the last, full-blown weapons everywhere one. I might include flashlight, actually, golf club, noodle dog. So that's interesting. But because this one is odd, 13, it might balance out later, but forget about that. I'm going to actually have this longsword, greatsword, versus just unarmed fighting, because I've been wanting to do a video on unarmed fighting for a while, because honestly, most of the time in Boneworks, for me at least, I'm fighting unarmed. So just punch. And it's the most useful combat form, I feel. I believe it's going to be that sword, but we'll see. So, for unarmed fighting, right? What you want to do is definitely keep your hands away from like ammo or anything else. That way you don't grab it accidentally. Especially away from like grabbables or what have you in the map. That way you don't accidentally grab anything instead of making a fist. Then, obviously, punch. Try for humanoids that aren't these. These just go for the head, if possible. But like these humanoids, try and give them a good kick first, kneel, and then hammer into it. Then jump away. But yeah, if you can get them on the ground first, that is the best. But yeah, obviously you have to be very mobile. But these guys, for instance, you have to get pretty close, that way they don't fire their range attacks. And then you just punch them over and over until there's nothing left. Let me move a bit in my play space. That was the sword. As I said, it's very easy to grab things. Actually, I'm going to put it back here. Very easy to grab things when you're trying to make a fist. Okay. And then, of course, jumping away is often a good thing to do when you're being overwhelmed without, well, in general, but also without any weapons. So it's not too terrible, it's just a bit exhausting, as you could probably hear from my voice. And breathing. But it's not too bad once you get used to it. Very easy to grab things, very easy to hit things in real life as well accidentally. These guys, at least in arena, you can just grab and run along the wall and they die. So that is one advantage. Kinda take care of crablets easily without using ammo, of course. And of course, the fight with the king in the throne room, spoilers, sorry. But yeah, with that final fight, where you can only use your and if you still hear me, okay, VR went off again, that was weird. Hopefully you could hear me through that. Yeah, you can deal enough damage if you keep hitting him enough. But anyway, I was saying something important about the king fight. But yeah, training with no weapons in the arena can help with that. And these strats as well. But I would recommend just grabbing the crown off and using that as a weapon. That might end up being its own weapon showcase, how to fight with video as well in the future. That was convenient. Okay. So I've showcased that enough, I feel. Let's try this. So, unlike real swords of this type, for one thing, it's two-handed. That's not what I meant for real life. I mean, it's a pain to wield things with two hands in this game, mostly because of the insane wrist strength that you normally have, that with two hands you kind of lose that ability. Okay, it does have a pretty decent blade. Okay, because I know Katana has a really nice blade, and if this one did 2, would also be quite good because it has 2 edges instead of just 1. One annoying thing is edge alignment. Yeah, look at that. So when you throw it down and then you grab it again, so its normal default configuration is with the flat of the blade, not the blade of the blade, which is not great because obviously, as you can see, this is not a great club, and there are much better weapons, including hands, just no weapon at all for club. But if you get your edge alignment right, so basically edge alignment where it's like this to your wrist, kind of. It's really easy to mess up that edge alignment though. See, with the katana, you don't have to worry about that because you just throw it down, you pick it up again, and it resets your edge alignment, but not with this weapon. Maybe if you do like that. See, that was pretty alright. It is very long, which in real life that's useful, but in this game, the extra range isn't that great, honestly, because, how do I describe it? So, if this gets stuck in an enemy, it's kind of tougher to wrench the weapon out if it's this long opposed to if it's the length of a katana. So, okay, that was pretty good. Was that a one hit? No, I didn't think so. If that was a one hit, I was going to be impressed, but nah. So you can use this like a normal sword, but the slashing is kind of a pain because of the edge alignment, as you can see. So I think, honestly, plus and minuses to no weapons versus this weapon. It's pretty alright. I'm sure if you use the pommel instead, just like how I would use this top part and hold it like this, it's not that bad. It's just because it's a two-handed weapon and because of the thing where it doesn't, where it automatically grabs like this with the flat instead of katana, which is like this with the blade, with the blade, with the blade. Really, is this the only sword that doesn't actually align properly? That's interesting. So either you'd have to like turn your wrists like this in real life, which is doable, but it's hard to do consistently, versus like this. You can pretty easily tell where your edge alignment is going to fall. That is a very thick blade profile. They might all be though. Yeah. It's just the katana. Well, getting off topic. I guess they all have kind of thick blade profiles, but for the katana it makes more sense because it's single edge versus double edge. Anyway, so that is my little tutorial on punching and unarmed combat in Boneworks, and a little baby tutorial on this guy. He's cool, but, oh, and also the edge geometry. Look how thin that is compared to this. Might be the same. No, I think this blade is actually a bit thinner. That is interesting. So this is actually like a normal blade profile. Kind of. It doesn't have distal taper and all that, but still, it would actually be a pretty okay weapon in Boneworks if it weren't two-handed necessary, as well as the automatic edge alignment being literally terrible. So there you go.